Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Get Well Soon XOXO. For those of you who don't know, I'm your host, Maddie Manic, and on today's episode, we're going to be discussing I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Viome. Could be, I've heard people say Viome. I think it's Viome though. But going to be discussing the results of the Viome test that I did. And then also just kind of doing like an update episode since I didn't do an episode last week because I kind of had it planned out and then it just wasn't fully planned out and I was like, I just feel like I'm not going to be able to do great on this episode, so just didn't bother with it last week. But also I did have a different topic completely planned out for last week, so it wasn't going to be like 2 gut focus episodes in a row, but now it is. So we're gonna have last week's would have been topic for next week instead. So you have that. I'll probably share what that topic's gonna be at the end of this episode. So you guys have that to look forward to. But yeah, just going to start off with the updates then. So there are going to be updates for like 2 weeks because I didn't do the episode last week. So we had another book club 2 Fridays ago. We had another thriller book that we read, and it was a book I had actually read like a couple months before they decided to choose it for the book club book, and it was super good. I always love a thriller. They're just so exciting, and usually I'm not able to predict the ending, which I don't want to be able to predict the ending. That's like my idea of a good thriller is if it's like never would have seen that coming. So yeah, just had like a little soup and like bread and salad night for that. So that was a lot of fun. Then this last Friday, me and Mason did like a pumpkin painting scary movie date night, which I love any sort of fall date night. It's just like my time. So that was super fun. I've been a little obsessed with Scream recently because I had never seen any of them and I just barely watched one of them last year. It wasn't the first one, it was like the 4th one. And so then this year I was like trying to get all of them watched before Halloween, and I actually only have one more to go. So done pretty good. But yeah, I didn't even see the first one first. I saw the 4th one and then I went and watched them in order this year. But yes, so I was gonna say, since I'm a little obsessed with it right now, not only did I paint Ghostface on my pumpkin, I then also carved Ghostface when we did our family Halloween party with like my parents and my siblings and stuff. We did that on Saturday. So if for anyone who comes trick-or-treating to our house, it's gonna look like we're a little obsessed with Ghostface and Scream, but that's just like a little temporary thing just because just in the thick of watching movies right now. But they're so good. I didn't realize like I'm not like a huge like character scary movie fan. Like if I watch scary movies, it's more like, I feel like I've said this before, it's more like serial killers, but like people, like not like Freddy Krueger, like Michael Myers, or like not like people with like a mask or like that look scary, because then it's like something that I picture when I'm trying to fall asleep. It's just gotta be like an average person, that's like doing scary stuff. I also don't love ghost scary movies. Those freak me out, like paranormal stuff. I do not, no, I don't love those ones. So, yeah, but I was gonna say, I didn't think I would like Scream for the reason of, it's like, it's like a scary, I mean, not super scary mask or anything, but just like the whole idea of like not knowing who it is what freaks me out. But then I realized you find out like who's the killer at the end of every movie, so that I like because it's like a little more suspenseful. Anyways, then 2 Saturdays ago we went to an NHL game, another NHL, like the Utah NHL game with me and Mason went with his dad and then their friend. And that was a lot of fun. I love going to those games. It's like so much fun. And then just like Sunday, a whole lot of cleaning, meal prep. I've been trying to meal prep a lot more stuff to just make, because I'm trying to eat like way cleaner, like even trying to basically not have processed foods when I'm trying to do like a more anti-inflammatory diet. So I'm trying to like do zero processed foods as much as I can. So meal prepping is what helps with that. So I'm trying to do a little more of that. Sorry, it's like I feel like I'm kind of getting, I don't know, like I feel like I'm kind of getting sick, but I never really know if it's like allergies or whatnot. So I'm gonna try not to like sniffle and clear my throat a bunch, but I don't know, it'll probably happen. But yeah, so obviously since I'm doing the episode on this, I did get the results back from the Viome test that I did. And I was so hyped. Like I literally was like, that's all I could think about. I was just so excited about getting the results back, and I'll kind of tell you why. But it was actually a lot sooner than I expected. They told me it could be up to 3 to 6 weeks before I got my results, and it was barely over a week when I got them. So very excited about that. Also just wanted to add in that yesterday was so not my day. I actually had a little bit of a breakdown before bed, and which got me to thinking, I have no idea why people even bother with getting lip filler. Like I cried for maybe like 10 minutes, and I'm telling you, my lips were beautiful, so full, like just looking so good. And I literally was like, I don't know why I don't just add this to my makeup routine every single day. Like, come on, it's so, just cry a little bit. Like they were looking so good, and you know, really no money or physical pain required. Just all it takes is one little minor inconvenience. But yeah, just something I noticed yesterday, that apparently when I cry, it literally looks like I got insane lip filler. So at least that's a plus to having breakdowns. I don't know. But yeah, just getting kind of more into the actual episode now. So basically how the test works is you send in a DNA sample, which I'll let you guys look up what kind of sample you have to send in. I'll just say it's not blood. So that was fun. But yeah, the test is a little bit but you know, gotta do it for science. So but with the test, it was like with like the test that you order, it's like a little kit that like tells you what to do and like gives you the supplies for sending in your sample. So just follow all the instructions, send your sample in, wait however long till you get your results back. And it has you create like an app so that you can kind of track your like sample and stuff and see kind of what's going on, and then your results will just come straight to the app. So basically it gives you like, it rates you on like an overall gut health, and it has like three different categories of like stuff that it's looking for, and in those categories it's like a bunch of different things that it's like rating you on. So for me, I had mostly average scores. I had one that was like not optimal, which it means it's like critical to like fix if you're wanting to fix your gut health. Average just means like you should work at getting those up to good scores, and then good means you should just maintain them. Yeah. And I think I had like a little less than, or it was like, I think a little less than half were good scores. So my overall was good. So that was like a pleasant surprise. I honestly didn't expect it to be overall good. I kind of thought it'd be like overall average, because I definitely thought there was a lot of improvement that I could be making with like my overall gut health. But so there's like that side of it, and then it also gives you like food recommendations. It gives you foods that you can enjoy, foods that you should limit, foods that you should avoid completely, and then foods that are your superfoods, because I didn't know this, but apparently that's like, whenever I say that, it reminds me of that one like kid on the news when he like was talking about the roller coasters. Anyways, apparently like not all superfoods are great for everyone, because your body processes different things differently. So you do have like specific superfoods that are like good for your specific body. So basically I'm just going to be sharing like my superfoods and the foods that it says I should limit. I'm not going to go through the whole list of foods to enjoy because it's like, well, like so many foods. It would take me like probably this whole episode just to read those off. But yeah, so it didn't say that I had any foods that I should avoid, and I looked it up and it said if your gut is already fairly healthy, then you will do better with a wider range of like foods and nutrients. So since my overall gut health score was in the good range, I'm guessing that's why I don't have any foods that I should avoid. So basically it's just telling me that I'm like so great, but just kidding. But no, seriously, I was a little bit like, oh, okay, like it's really that good. I don't need to like cut anything out, but so that, oh, then sorry, like whenever I go off on a tangent, then I like lose what I'm talking about. It also gives you like precision supplements and gut pre and probiotics that are made specifically for your body. Like it literally will give you like a breakdown of every little tiny thing that's in each supplement and like gut and probiotics. That's gonna like help you best to reach your like best gut health. Those are a little pricier, not gonna lie. So definitely, I think that's gonna be something that I will try them out for a couple months and then maybe retest at that time and kind of see what changes and if maybe I don't really need the supplements anymore, if like my diet is just kind of maintaining that like well enough, because they are definitely a little pricey, especially like when I have kids. I don't know that I'm gonna be able to afford that much and like these supplements and stuff, but I'll definitely give them a try. And I was gonna add with that, if anyone is looking into taking the test, and like if you take the test and decide that you do want to take the supplements and the gut pre and probiotics, definitely let me know, because they have like a little referral program, so I could help you get $50 off of like your first supplement and pre and probiotic subscription. I think it has a certain dollar amount that you have to be spending, so I'm not sure on that, but yeah, just let me know, because who doesn't want $50 off if you could? But so yeah, I'm gonna go back to the top. Gonna kind of talk about some of the scores. I'm gonna talk about like the not optimal one, and then the ones that like were really good, and then yeah. So sorry, I should have had this ready, but the app is way easier to like maneuver than the website. The website's definitely a little bit okay. Well, it's not really working that great. It's taking forever to load. So I'm just going to share with you guys basically, I know that it said my not optimal score was like my variety of good and bad bacteria was just like not what it should be, that I definitely should be getting a little more like of the variety in there. So there was like my superfoods are supposed to help with that, and then the supplements in the gut pre and probiotics are also supposed to be helping with that. So like all of your superfoods are kind of geared towards like kind of the goals that you put when you're filling out the questionnaire that goes along with like the sample, or if you're like if you have like not optimal scores or a bunch of average scores, your superfoods are going to help bring those up, and then so are like the supplements and stuff. So I have 18 superfoods, and they are veggies are lion's mane mushroom, pumpkin, which I knew I was a fall girl. Of course, pumpkin is a superfood of mine. Just makes sense. Radishes, definitely didn't even know that those were a superfood, I guess. Just don't feel like I hear about those a ton. So that was one. And then spirulina powder. I've kind of had this before, just kind of mix into smoothies and stuff. I don't really know how think you can just put it in your drink, but I don't think it tastes that great, so probably just mix it in the smoothies. My like fruits and grains categories of superfoods are figs and raspberries. I don't know if I love figs. I don't even know if I've ever really tried them, so that's gonna be interesting to see if I like those or not, if I can force myself to eat those. The raspberries I love, so pretty happy about that. My proteins and fats. So my first one is anchovies. I'm not gonna lie, those don't sound good. Those do not sound like something I ever want to try. So I might have to skip that one. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. They sound disgusting, and I feel like a lot of people say that they're gross. I don't know if anyone's tried them and they're not that bad. Maybe let me know, but don't think they sound that great. Then avocado, which I love avocado. I feel like I eat it at least once a week, so that's good. Brown lentils. And I just barely, I mean, I feel like I've had lentils before, but I just barely bought some last week because I was reading in that book that I was talking about last episode, the Anti-Inflammatory Diet book. And they said that lentils were really good, so I actually did just get those last week. So that's good to know. Also, flax seed oil is another one of my superfoods, so probably going to start incorporating that. I don't know if I'm going to really cook with it because it's kind of expensive for like a little bottle. I might just like put it like in food when I can or whatever. Heart or hemp hearts or hemp seeds, whatever. That's another of my superfoods. Another thing that I was putting my smoothies like crazy a couple years ago and I just kind of like stopped, but gonna probably be doing that again because, you know, I'm trying to focus on getting at least a couple different superfoods in every day. That's what I recommend. So yeah, gonna go back to doing that. Salmon is another superfood and I love salmon, so that is good. It has to be wild caught though. It can't be like farm raised, it says, so, which I already was trying to steer away from farm raised anyways, so that's okay. And then the last two, sunflower seeds. I didn't really see that one. I definitely didn't think that they were considered a superfood, but I mean, I guess they are, so makes for a good like snack when you're trying not to really have a crazy snack. So like, especially if you know, just sunflower seeds are a good snack. So it's good that that's on there. And then turkey is another one, which I do enjoy turkey. So I'm not mad about that. I cook with ground turkey all the time. So that'll be easy to get in. And then my spices and other category of superfoods are apple cider vinegar, which I have literally every single day. So that's good. Chamomile tea. I used to have that quite a bit before bed. And same thing, just kind of stopped doing that. So probably try to get back into that again. And then ginger, which again, I was trying to incorporate ginger a lot, I feel like last year and the year before, and then I just kind of stopped doing that really as much, but gonna try to get back into that. I already know that ginger is like so good for you, so yeah. And then sage is my last like spices and other category of superfoods, so wherever I can incorporate that, I'll try to do that. But yeah, that's all of my superfoods. I don't know if it's gonna let me see. Oh, guess it does. Okay, so my minimize list. So I will say, unless you're actually have been told that like you can't eat something, like if you're like celiac or whatever, I maybe wouldn't put like your food sensitivity, like when it asks for food sensitivities, I wouldn't put anything because I'm kind of wondering like if, I mean, I think it affected my results and I kind of wanted to know whether or not that I'm actually like, if that's really what it was or if it was maybe just something else every time I was eating like gluten and stuff. So, yeah, but I put that like gluten was a food sensitivity of mine. So it put in my limitations really anything that had like gluten. So I'm kind of like, I don't know if it would have been on my foods to enjoy or not, or if it still would have been on my limitations, but it is on the limitation one. So like really anything gluten is on there. And then like black tea and coffee, and matcha. I thought that one, I was like, oh, I didn't think that like black tea and matcha were that bad, but I guess it's just caffeine is, it says for my personal body, I would do well with like very limited caffeine. So definitely going to be cutting that back. I mean, I don't really drink a whole lot of coffee. I was trying to drink a lot of black tea because I heard that it was like really, it was like nature's Ozempic. So I was trying to drink a lot of that, but I guess I can't do that anymore. I did see that green tea is fine though. So I will still be drinking a lot of green tea. And then a lot of sugar, it says I should be minimizing, like basically like all forms, like cane sugar, coconut, maple syrup, honey, all of those were on my minimize, which I was like, that's what I use to, like, those are all my substitutes, so that's kind of annoying, but it's whatever. I mean, it's kind of in the fall when I make like sweet treats or whatever, so just like one time of the year, so that's fine. But yeah, and then like salt, it said I should minimize. I don't really know why. It just kind of says like salt in all forms shouldn't be overconsumed, which I don't know if that's for everybody or just me, but I don't feel like I really eat a ton of salt right now anyways. I don't know. But yeah, that was kind of just like grain or gluten and like sugar and caffeine and stuff was on my minimized list, and I didn't have any voids. So feel like I'm really hoping that it's not like affecting the sound or the video. It keeps saying it's reconnecting like 4 different times, and it's freaking me out because I don't want to re-record this. So I'm praying, but I'm probably going to end this episode a little bit soon just for that reason. I don't want it to like stop on me. So basically with like the scores and everything, I could read you them, but they're kind of like there's a lot of big words and I don't really exactly understand like every single thing it's saying, so it's like better to like look into your scores that you're receiving. I don't know how much it's going to do for you guys for like to read all of my scores, but yeah, just that one critical one was the rebalancing my like gut bacteria. I don't know what's happening. It like keeps like cutting out and it's like stressing me out. So yeah, that was just my results. Super excited about them. I'm sorry if this is being weird. I don't know what's happening. It's super annoying, but just gonna wrap up this episode to prevent anything from crashing. So thanks to all who stuck around to this point, and I really hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Next week's episode is going to be on how to cure / prevent seasonal blues. So stick around, or definitely tune in for tips on that. Little housekeeping as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave this episode or the podcast a review if you haven't yet, because it helps me out so much and I would really appreciate it. You can find me on Instagram as Maddie.Manic, my personal account, and getwellsoon__xoxo for the podcast account, and then Maddie.Manic for my TikTok, and get.well.soon_xoxo for the podcast TikTok account. And my YouTube is linked in my Insta bio and my TikTok bio, and this episode will be live when the podcast is live, so go check it out if you want to watch this episode. And I will have all this linked in the show notes as always. Thanks again for tuning in, and don't forget to live your life beautifully. Talk to you next Wednesday.